Hey, yo, how goes it? It's Dominic D'Angelo. It's a Monday. Hey, guess what? It's Rumor and Innuendo. I'm here with Mr. Robert Karplis, WE Creative _ish. If you haven't checked it out yet, be sure to check out our interview we got to do with Mike Santana. It posted on Friday. It's up now at studio1sports.com. Be sure to check it out. He talks a lot about being QB1 for TNA and a lot of those great moments that he's had so far in TNA. And some of his names a favorite, low-key favorite Bret Hart match. But I'm here, like I said, with Mr. Robert Karplis. Robert, how are you today, man? Happy Monday.
Man, I am doing great. What a time to be alive. What a time to be a wrestling fan. It doesn't get much better than this. We'll say hi to some of the fine folks joining us in the chat. E says, what's up? Fun fact, Marcus D'Angelo debuted on Raw and SmackDown before Tony D'Angelo won the NXT title, because we all know the hierarchy of D'Angelos. It goes Marcus, then Tony, then probably 30 to 40 other D'Angelos, and then somewhere down near the bottom might be Dom in his you're like an Atari Aztec character. I don't quite get what's going on. Cammy Star says, after morning, are we panicking yet? Panicking? What is there to panic about? All is well in WWE. Things could not be better. Legs Louie says, happy Monday, RNI. Tony Gong says, the recession era is over. The rage bait era has begun. Oh, foolish Tony Gong. We are in a second renaissance of wrestling. Dre Owen says, hello, RNI. Who is ready for the McAfee era? I'm not. That must be a typo. He must have meant I'm not able to contain my excitement.
Oh, boy.
Warner Bree says, hello, RNI. JC Jane became the most talked about wrestler this weekend. I don't know what JC Jane did, but I'm sure we'll get into it. Mark Marin says, I made it. What happened to the WWE of Mania 40? It got better. It got better this past Friday on SmackDown. They got the call and they went, we can fix this. And brother, did they ever. Home run, grand slam, universal acclaim. Rarely do you get universal acclaim, but I was a little worried going into WrestleMania. I've been hiding it well.
Were you? No.
I've been hiding it well, but I was slightly concerned about some of the builds. Mm-hmm. And then on Friday Night SmackDown, Randall Keith Orton came out to that ring, and we found out on the other side of that phone, Pat McAfee.
How about
Dom, that? All in. I'm all in. Take all my money. You know what? Look, I'm booking a last-minute flight to Vegas. I'm paying the $10,000 for a front row seat. I'm making a sign that just says, let Ari Emanuel book all of WWE programming going forward. Sold American style. Love this. This is the best thing ever. Take that, Bret Hart and Steve Austin, WrestleMania 13, crumpled up in the trash. Nothing's topping this.
Well, I mean, is Ari Emanuel the early candidate for Booker of the Year then?
Oh, Ari Emanuel makes Tony Khan look like Tony Khan. They could literally put the world title on LA Knight tonight, and I'd still be bullish about what's going on. I love that people went, Randy's on the phone.
Yes.
This is going to have some kind of a payoff. This is going to fix everything.
Mm-hmm.
And we said on here, the only way this could have been better is if it turned out Randy was talking to Randy Orton, that there was a broken mirror that Randy was having conversations with. I don't think you kids remember how bad wrestling used to be. So I'm going to put the tinfoil hat on, Dom. You want to put the tinfoil hat with me? You already got your regular stupid hat on? Yeah.
100% with you on this tinfoil hat.
The narrative, the rumor and innuendo is Pat McAfee.
Correct.
Friend of the show.
Is he?
Buddy of mine. Love Pat.
Pittsburgher.
Known Pat for many, many years. Big fan of Pat. Pat was apparently foisted onto the WWE by TKO, because TKO, Ari Emanuel, the boilerplate for Ari Gold on Entourage, Ari Emanuel, best agent that there is, head of TKO, called up his boy Nick Khan and not his boy Paul Triple H Levesque and said, guys, we gotta amp this sucker up here. We're looking at ticket sales, we're looking at ratings, we're listening to rumor and innuendo, we're hearing what's going on. You got to bring in some Pat McAfee, and we got some Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
If you don't like this, then you're not going to like this tinfoil hat piece. So Pat gives this promo, everyone's all angry, and then these reports get leaked out to all the dirt sheets, to all the journalists out there, claiming that this was forced on the WWE creative team, the WWE creative _ish folks out there. And they then had Cody go out and cut a promo in the middle of SmackDown that wasn't on the run sheet. This is Tony Schiavone era, Vince Russo. This wasn't on my programming sheet. This is what a swerve.
Drink some surge.
Bro, he goes out there, he cuts a promo, but they forgot to tell the crowd who he was talking about. It got people talking. It led to controversy. And you know what controversy creates, Dom?
Cash, Robert.
Yes. Eric Bischoff, the man who has lost a lot of money multiple times in his career, says controversy creates cash. Yes. There's a lot of controversy. This feels like they sat in a room and they came up with all of this, and they wanted to try to work the dirt sheets in this. It's Hunter and the creative team fighting Ari Emanuel and TKO for the soul of WWE. And now we as the audience have to support Cody. Not just the Mark fans out there that want to cheer the babyface and boo the heel. No, we are the true smart fans, and we know Cody is being held down, and he's the guy who's got it. This is all nonsense. This is all bogus. This is all part of the plan. The gist of all this really is people are talking about WrestleMania.
That's true. They are.
Now, some of Pat's promo,
some
people were mad about. Some of it, look, I'm going to say the controversial take. This is where I'm at. You ready? I don't really care. Work's blowing me up, getting real stuff here. Here's the deal. Pat McAfee is one of the biggest stars on planet Earth. Correct. Pat McAfee is one of the biggest media stars that exists. He is 100%. A guy who went from fringe guy who's got a podcast and doing NXT matches with Adam Cole to ESPN airing him daily, him leaping over the Barstool Sports situation and becoming a global brand unto himself, them putting him front and center on College Game Day, the biggest property ESPN has that makes them a tremendous amount of money. He pushes Lee Corso into the retirement home and now becomes the face of College Game Day. He is now the face of daily sports talk. He was the lead commentator on Raw and knocked it out of the park as lead commentator on Raw.
Very good.
He is now forcing eyeballs onto WWE programming as a heel character. Dom, what a heel said. When heels talk, are they constantly honest and truthful?
Well, my brother is, but unlike my brother, no.
Yeah, but you're a heel, so you automatically lie. Pat McAfee was supposed to say stuff to make people angry. Unfortunately, a lot of the stuff he said that made people angry was kind of true. This year's Mania business is not doing great. Ratings for SmackDown with Cody as champion have not been stellar. There is a section of the audience out there that misses the Attitude Era, who forgets how truly awful week in and week out the Attitude Era was. You can cherry pick, and there are moments and there are needle drops of the Attitude Era that are truly remarkable. Go back and watch a full 2-hour episode of Monday Night Raw from the Attitude Era, from peak Vince Russo Attitude Era. You're misremembering. But people went so oversized angry about McAfee being the reveal, when at the end of the day, his point was, as a heel, Randy Orton is the best wrestler of all time. You guys are sitting here talking about, the 5'5" guys having 45-minute matches. You guys are talking about Cody. You're talking about all this other stuff. None of those guys matter. Randy Orton is the best. Randy Orton is the guy who deserves to be A1 main event. This is why this company stinks, because they haven't been backing Randy Orton. I'm here to back Randy Orton. That's the story. That's pro wrestling. everything else, this notion that it should have been somebody better. Wrestling surprises always wind up dropping the ball. That this is comically bad. It is comically bad. But you know what? It's not the worst thing that's been built to this WrestleMania. That's how dire the circumstances have been. The worst thing about this WrestleMania by far was when Roman Reigns won the Royal Rumble and he buried SmackDown and he buried Cody and he buried that title and said, the only thing I care about is beating CM Punk for the world title because everything else is irrelevant and it's been done and it's useless. This was like 2.5 months ago. He completely discredited an entire brand. And every beat of this Roman Reigns CM Punk storyline has been garbage. It has been bad promos. There have been no real matches of merit. Nothing else has been elevated. It's a disaster of a build. The only thing that's working going into WrestleMania has been Brock Lesnar and Obafemi, which has minimal creative. And anytime they did involve it, it was let's just put Hunter out there. Like, what? And then this Randy Cody story, which nobody wanted. They literally have done every single thing you possibly can for a storyline. We've had heel turns. We've had best friends getting beaten up and their arms broken. We've had shoot promos. We've had Stephanie McMahon. It all stinks. So you know what? Let's just throw Pat out there. Screw it. Pat's at least entertaining. He's going to get some mainstream eyeballs on it. It's going to make TKO happy. It's going to make ESPN happy. It's not like they've stepped into what was a masterclass of a storyline and ruined it. They took a bad story as part of a series of bad stories going into this WrestleMania and have at least made it an interesting kind of bad.
I mean, I guess. I think my argument would be that you bring Pat McAfee in the mix. Sure, Pat's a big star. He's a massive star. I agree completely with what you said about him just like, transcending media in a lot of ways for sports and everything. But he does not fit this role, like in regards to, is he a threat to Cody? And when you look at Randy was already a threat to Cody. It was established. They were building towards it. And I think that kind of relationship, even though this short burn has been for just a little bit of time, you were building something between Randy and Cody. And now you're putting a hat on a hat. And it's almost the aspect, you can analogize it back to WrestleMania 30, where Randy was the surrogate for the Authority. And in this realm, you get Pat McAfee as that guy. And
no, this is Pat McAfee pumping up Randy Orton as the mouthpiece, essentially, for TKO. And what they've managed to do is they've managed to create a straw man. They've created a boogeyman that if you just watch the program, it's Randy Orton is being talked to by Pat McAfee, and he's hearing the voices, and now he's coming after Cody. And if you want to read the dirt sheets and believe that you're smarter than everybody else, it's because of this, bro. This is TKO messing with WWE, and we got to take back our company. And when you feel that sort of ownership, when you feel that sort of possessiveness of the company, you are then reinvested in what's going on. And now it's not, this creative has stunk. This build to WrestleMania is awful. It's TKO is meddling with the company that we love. We need to take it back, and we need to support Hunter, and we need to support Cody. It's actually not. Excuse me, I'm choking on my own bile and hatred here, and not just choking back a belch, which was gross. This is not a terrible strategy for WWE to pivot, because otherwise we would have been coming on here Monday and talking about how bad Raw might be tonight. That it's going to be another in a series of what's Roman going to do to Punk? What's Punk going to do to Roman? Instead, it's Pat McAfee's going to be out there on his show talking about WrestleMania, probably moving a couple tickets, getting at least some eyeballs on it, and most importantly, appeasing TKO and ESPN, who cannot be happy with anything that's been going on for WrestleMania otherwise. And then the last thing, and then I'll turn this over to you. There's that poster going around where it's Jelly Roll, I Show Speed, Pat McAfee, Tom Brady, and Lil Yachty. Guys, I don't know if you've paid attention to the last 41 WrestleManias. It's all celebrities. That is why WrestleMania exists. That's why WrestleMania 1 existed. When they go back and show video packages of WrestleMania 1, it's not, the Don Morocco wrestling. There's Billy Martin and Liberace. There's Mr. T. There's Muhammad Ali. There's Cyndi Lauper. Everything was celebrities. The difference is those guys on that poster, with the exception of Tom Brady, Jelly Roll, Lil Yachty, I Show Speed, Pat McAfee, genuine, legitimate fans of WWE programming, one of us, for lack of a better term. Love the product, love the business, utilizing their clout, utilizing their star power, taking their time to promote something that we love and earnestly and actively participate, not just show up and wave, not be Jeremy Piven trying to go promote a terrible used car movie where he doesn't know the name of the pay-per-view that he's talking about. These are guys who are all in as being wrestling fans, just like what we saw with Bad Bunny, just like what we saw with Logan Paul. We need to at least embrace and accept that they're here to make this better. This is not shallow corporate nonsense. This is not them saying, good news, we got the Lincoln Lawyer because the new season of Lincoln Lawyer is out. So Lincoln Lawyer, go out there. We don't have a K-pop demon hunter showing up on Raw. These are folks who genuinely like the product, want to be a part of WrestleMania, and want to make it better.
Okay, let me present it this way. How old were you when WrestleMania 1 came out?
3, 2.5.
Okay. I was just born, if not. No, I wasn't even born yet. So I'm trying to consider and factor in, obviously, everything media is all spread out and it's like for everybody now. And so much is oversaturated. You can have your niche, find your niche. Back then, it was very much more in a vacuum. And so celebrities felt like a bigger deal at that juncture in time. And you had some big name celebrities getting involved during that time. Mr. T, Muhammad Ali, Cyndi Lauper. Those are massive, massive names. Now, Pat McAfee's a massive name for sure. Jelly Roll's a big name too. I Show Speed and stuff, they have a little bit more of a niche audience, but they're still big. But I'm kind of in that realm of like, weren't those celebrities bigger back then than the celebrities that we have today going on? Because everything is oversaturated. I think that is something to kind of look about. And let me add to this too, Robert, and I'll get your response. What do you think about this in terms of the long-term effects for WWE? Is TKO getting too involved, and are they disrupting the product too much?
That was always going to happen. As soon as TKO took over and this stopped being a mom and pop company, and Vince was not able to single-handedly say, this is what I'm doing, you don't like it, this is my wallet, these are my purse strings, this is my sandbox. It was always the argument we always heard, is the argument I had to live. This is Vince's world, he doesn't care about anybody else, he can do what he pleases. Tony Khan, it's his world, he can do as he pleases. That's why we can be more vocal about some of the decisions that happen in AEW, because at the end of the day, it's one guy making these calls. And if he wanted to change it tomorrow, he can change it all tomorrow. TKO is a large global entity that has everything listed as an annuity. They see on their balance sheet, WrestleMania last year brought in X amount of millions of dollars. As a company, you need to now bring in a higher percentage of that. That's corporate America. So how do you bring it in? You do everything you possibly can. Has it forever ruined wrestling? Yes, because wrestling always winds up doing this. WrestleMania, we lost control of WrestleMania when WrestleMania became a stadium show. The second that WrestleMania became a stadium show, we lost what the spirit of it was. You look at where it was at WrestleMania 3, big, massive stadium, and then 4 and 5 went to Trump Tower because it was a paid and bought for show. And then it was a smaller event for years and years and years until it became a stadium show again at 17. Big, giant stadium. Hey, huge. Then it kept shrinking in size. But once it became a stadium every single year, no matter what, you have to sell 50, 60, 70,000 tickets a year. You can't take a risk. You can't say, let's go with an oddball. Let's go with a left of center choice. Let's go with, Undertaker and Sid as a unique main event. You have to go with the most proven commodities. And that's why this creative has been so morally bankrupt this year. Because it's not just one night, it's 2 nights of Mania. You have to sell. They're pulling at every stop imaginable. And the thing about Pat, the thing about I Show Speed, thing about Jelly Roll, thing about Lil Yachty, they are not taking a spot from someone else.
No, I agree with that.
That's the fair criticism that could have been lobbied. Snooki is the go-to example that she took Melina's spot as part of that WrestleMania. If you're utilizing a talent, if you're using a superstar instead of a talent, some celebrity, that's where someone has a legitimate gripe. That's where a CM Punk would go out there and cut a pipe bomb and say, you're bringing in a part-time has-been, and they're taking a spot from someone who's here week in and week out. It's not like the reveal was going to be that Randy was really listening to, Malachi or Aleister Black, and that this would have been they weren't going to do that. It was going to be some whatever moment. So did the segment make everybody's eyes roll? Yes. Did I get a million texts from people going, this is an absolute joke? Yeah. But you know what? It's no worse off than anything else they've been doing going into this WrestleMania. If they were pitching strikes and they took the pen out of Hunter's hand and now it's, we got to go with this edict, fine. We have what to complain about. This whole company's been off the rails since September, October.
I say that's, about right. Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, I think, too, something else I kind of want to consider, too. Do you think Pat is going to be just oversaturated on this? Like, just oversaturated in general? Like, you think about his star power outside of WWE at this point. Is WWE going to the well too much with him, and is, like, ESPN and everything, and Ari Emanuel, too, wants him to be the next Sylvester Stallone? Is this too much Pat?
There's like 3 weeks left till Mania, right? Not even.
Not even. No, not even.
Not even. We're looking at 1-2 weeks. Yeah. So we got this week and next week of programming. Mm-hmm. So if Pat's oversaturated, he'll probably be on SmackDown this Friday. Maybe he'll be on Raw. He'll be on SmackDown next Friday, be on his TV talking for 2 weeks. You're going to get probably, as much as I hate him, a Stephen A. Smith segment talking about what's going on with this. Maybe you get Aaron Rodgers on there.
They're not on good terms, though, those two.
No, I'm going to say, but it's ESPN. They're going to be promoting stuff.
That'll be interesting, actually, to see what happens with that. I'm very intrigued by that tension between Stephen A. and Pat McAfee. Just because
this is a company who in ESPN who knows how to leverage all of their different properties. I don't know if you watched the hockey game last night.
No, I did not.
The Ranger game last night was on Disney Channel. They covered it with the Inside Out characters. They used digital whatever. And they make it look like a cartoon. Yeah. And it was great because friend of the show, Arda Okal, was on there as the sideline reporter. It was a live game. They aired the whole game. So you got kids that were hooked that might not ever watch hockey, because newsflash, most kids don't watch hockey. Hockey stinks, but they watch Inside Out. They're going to watch this cartoon. Hey, this is kind of fun. They maybe watch their first hockey game ever. If this is going to bring some people into the tent, so be it. The challenge they do run into, the realness of I've talked myself into liking this when I've been hating it.
You really did.
I'm very good at this. This is the lawyer side of the life.
My goodness.
What Pat said is not the kind of heel thing across the board. People are going to go like, boo, you're a heel. There's a lot of people who are going to listen to it and go, you know what? You're right. The Attitude Era was better. I don't need to see these 5'5" guys. And because Pat uses that same tone on his show, people are going to listen to it and they're going to be like, well, if he's right about that, he's right about this. Current WWE stinks.
Is that engaging to an audience? If you hear
it's the same logic Roman used, who the hell knows?
Dude, yeah, exactly. That's my point, Robert. It's like Roman already said this. You reiterate with Pat saying that ticket sales are low, that you don't have the stars you used to anymore. Randy Orton is that star. Well, why the hell am I going to watch it? Even if I'm a casual fan.
Travis Wadlow says, "Ooh, Robert, watch it with the hockey talk."
I agree, Travis. I agree.
Check the resume here. I've put in enough years in hockey to feel confident in saying what I'm saying. That's
Jaromir Jagr in WrestleMania, though. I would take him for sure.
Jagger's a beast. Jagger's a crazy man whom I happily signed to a contract once. Here's the deal. We got Raw tonight. I'm sure they'll do something. Look, we did not think a week ago that we were going to tune into Monday Night Raw and see a Stephanie McMahon promo in Madison Square Garden where she deballed Cody. Who knows what we're going to get tonight?
You never know. Do you think we'll see Pat tonight or no? No Pat tonight. Cody?
Maybe you get a Pat video. I see a Pat cell phone video at most. Everybody was upset about what they heard last Friday. Everyone wants to give their opinion. Well, you know what? I'm going to be on SmackDown this Friday because they're going to give me a microphone because they wouldn't give you a microphone. They wouldn't give any of you idiots out there watching a microphone. They're going to give me a microphone. Not because Paul wanted to give me the microphone, but because Ari and Dwayne wanted to give me the microphone. Tune in this Friday. And there you go. Just own it and move from there. Warner Breeze points out that the heel Pat from NXT with his feud with Adam Cole, that was kind of the best version of McAfee.
It was, absolutely.
McAfee and Adam Cole was glorious. And
Good
McAfee is not doing this. This is the most important thing. He's not doing this ultimately to look cool. McAfee is going to do this to get Cody over. He is going to do this to further the WWE. And if it means him looking like an ass when all is said and done, you better believe he's going to be all about it. Man does not have an ego about this. This is not him showing up because he's Vin Diesel in a Fast and the Furious movie. He's going to negotiate how many times he can get punched. We got like 3 minutes left. There's a Monday Night Raw tonight. We may want to touch on what's going on here.
Well, yes. So we will have world champion CM Punk. He speaks after attacking Roman Reigns. What do you want Punk to say tonight, Robert?
Whatever it is, I want it to be short. And I don't want there to be any response, and I don't want there to be any physicality. It's just, Roman, I'll see you next Saturday or next Sunday, and for the next week, I'll be training, so you won't see me next week on Raw, and we've sold this show. Goodbye.
Well, both Brock Lesnar and Omofemi are set to appear as well. What more can they do, should they do, to heat this up or continue this to be as heated in the top feud heading into WrestleMania?
Look, if they can find a way to get Marcus D'Angelo back involved in there, maybe they'll sell some tickets.
Absolutely, right?
No, my guess is because of what happened last week in Hunter and all that, they're going to impose some kind of like, you're not allowed to touch each other, not be within 500 feet of one another kind of nonsense. Don't do that.
That was me touching Robert.
Yeah, I know. There's no reason to make the boop noise is brutal. It's unnecessary. What also seems unnecessary is we're going to get a Seth Rollins promo to open Raw to try to make sense of this Gunther storyline.
What Keanu Reeves' character will be dressed as this time?
Let's go Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Ooh, that's a good pick. I like that. All right. Well, hopefully he doesn't suck the life out of that segment, eh? Ooh. Finn Balor versus JD McDonough on the card.
That's a pretty great match. Those guys are obvious. Look, when you have guys who are legit best friends and one guy helped train the other and they're not going to pull punches and they got to sell this insane Dom Finn match that makes no sense and this insane ladder match that makes no sense.
Oh, please.
They're going to go out there and knock it out of the park.
Yep. Rhea Ripley and Io Sky teaming up against B-Fab and Mishin.
Hot take that I talked about on the Working Stiff Patreon, which should be up right now. We talked about SmackDown. This is ending with Io Sky turning on Rhea. Io turning on Rhea, not getting a match at WrestleMania, taking it out on her friend, because I really want heel Io versus babyface Stephanie Vaquer by SummerSlam.
Sign me up. Sign me up for sure. Hey, I know you're excited for this one, Robert.
What's that?
LA Knight. Yeah. Taking on Austin Theory.
Here's the hot take.
Uh-huh.
I don't really know who I Show Speed is. I know that he got speared by Braun Breaker. I know that my daughter has heard of him and she's like, oh, it's that guy. He streams and he's a big deal in a number of communities, and I'm happy for all that. He will make this LA Knight situation better. This is an instance of utilizing a celebrity to fix a terrible WWE problem.
I don't know if it's that terrible, but I'm with you.
It's pretty terrible. Here's the most important thing to remember, guys, as we wrap up here. Is this build to WrestleMania absolute ass? You better believe it. Yeah. But the good news is once Mania is over, once the ballroom has cleared out and the party balloons are deflating and the ribbons are being cleaned up, we get wrestling back for the next couple months. We get wrestling back, because I got news for you. Ari Emanuel ain't picking up the phone because of Backlash Tampa. I don't think that's top of his call sheet. So what that means is we're going to get a chance to see all of the talent that has been percolating over the last few months get a chance to really shine, because all the big names are going to leave. And if you saw how Trick Williams acted on SmackDown. Dude gets it. He's incredible.
Big time.
They've made Mello feel like a bigger star because of all this. I just feel like everything that's going on, we're going to be better off once we just knuckle through and get out of this. But you don't have to worry because we will be back tomorrow to help you knuckle through everything that happens on Monday Night Raw. I don't know why I'm using this knuckle through expression, but here we are on a plethora of platforms, including the WWE Creative _ISH X account, the @Dominic D'Angelo X account, the @SE Scoops X account, and on YouTube on Podcast Heat and Studio One Sports. So on behalf of my shaman, Dominic D'Angelo, I'm Robert Karpelos. Best of luck in your future endeavors.
I'm like the Johnny Cash voice in The Dog and The Simpsons. Hello, Homer.
Shh.